When the pen refuses to educate, the penis becomes a victim of its own erection.
I remember that hot afternoon at the courthouse in Jasikan district. After we have done a 7-hour journey from Accra just to give some form of support to a colleague posted to head a new branch of a company in that district charged for raping a 15-year-old girl. As I sat in the courtroom, my mind realized two very powerful weapons at play. One being used by the judge as the accused was undergoing cross-examination, and the other allegedly used by the defendant awaiting judgment while he was seated in the dock. What could make such a young, promising gentleman like Mark find himself in this quagmire? Should he be found guilty beyond all reasonable doubt? This organ of a third leg has really brought a lot of respectable men down. Yet, we are all products of its function. But at the courtroom, it was found wanting at the mercy of another powerful tool, the pen. Man has to be very careful with a lot of things these days, lest we fall. But if he is found not guilty, praise be to God. Then again, it will be on record he was once accused of something like this, especially in an era where the law flirts with the other gender the most. However, I believe we must also protect our vulnerable females in society and not abuse them, especially when we find ourselves in position of great influence. I wish Mark all the best, as it's been 1 year since his trial started. And I also sympathize with a young lady for all that she's going through at this young age. Life sometimes is a long matrix of complexity. So much lessons to be learned.
Now, if you're wondering what that silent conversation was about, I'm here to tell you something about the pen and the penis and how I'm trying to link them, okay? First, let's try to study the words, the pen and then the penis, okay? But let's first start with the pen. The word pen in French is actually stylo. Now, you might be tempted to think that the word stylo is the same word style. No. As much as these two words may be close to being homophonic, they are actually not related in any way when it comes to the etymology of these words. Yes. But here's the twist, okay? When it comes to the word stylo, stylo basically has its root word in an old Latin word, stylus, which basically means a pointed instrument, okay? Now, when it comes to style, which is an English word, the interesting twist is that this English word has its root word to an old French word, estile, which actually means a writing instrument. A style linked to old French word, estile, which means a writing instrument. So what does it tell you? Some way, somehow, because it's ancient words, it has evolved over the period of time. But I believe that there's a link here. What do I mean? I'm saying that style is linked to stylo, which is pen in English. How do we then link these two words when it comes to the pen and the penis? When the pen refuses to educate, the penis would have unauthorized erections that can bring about problems. We have in society these days young men who are having issues with self-control and self-discipline. Like in the silent conversation concerning Mark, who is now have to trip the courtroom and being tried for allegedly raping a 15-year-old girl. Why would a very promising man be involved in something like this? Let me tell you the truth that it's not easy for men to be self-disciplined when it comes to sexual attractions. It's one of the things that we find ourselves weak the most, including myself, because the male mind works differently when it comes to nudity and when it comes to watching sexual scenes. In fact, when it comes to sex, the mind of the male engages itself way before the physical act, and something that you must understand. So we are having a society these days where men are raised by women. Women are raised by single mothers. Likewise, men are raised by single mothers. And women are getting attracted to other women sexually, men are getting attracted to other men sexually. We find ourselves in a society these days where it's uncommon for people to have left in a family that had both parents staying in marriage for the long haul. Very rare. And so it's difficult for a young man going out to look for a wife to get it right, because he was never exposed to a woman that was acting as a wife to her husband, the father of the same person, looking for a wife. All I'm trying to say is that the pen stands for education. The penis stands for manhood. Until we start training young men self-control, self-discipline, honoring women, and not abusing and taking advantage of women, especially when we find ourselves in very influential places, it creates issues. It creates problems for society. It creates a situation where you can no longer pinpoint someone and say that this man is of high integrity. In fact, integrity is something that has been washed down the drain. It's hard to find a man who is a man of his words, who is a man that is an integral part of his words, that produces the word integrity. And all of us, including myself, trying to work on ourselves daily, it's difficult, but it's possible. And so when the pen does not write down the vision, creating the lifestyle of how the youth of a country, as far as the men are concerned, should live through their media, anything is possible. The manhood of men go haywire. They become undisciplined and put society at trouble. And this is the end effect when erections are not controlled, because the pen did not write the vision. We produce a society of irresponsible fathers, a society of fathers who have become victims of substances like alcohol and drugs, a society where fathers are no longer leading, a society where men do not command respect, a society where the head is dead and so the neck is irrelevant, a society where there is no control anymore, a society where you cannot have the male figure leading the way and the path and determining how the next generation should be successful, how the next generation should be competitive in the international world. When the pen refuses to educate, the penis becomes a victim of its own erection. We should start educating the minds of our young men, which is the responsibility of fathers who are husbands to their wives. And this is why the family system is attacked so much through the media system and all around us. These days, when you talk about family, it actually draws a certain level of laughter because single parenting is the order of the day. As I'm speaking, I'm not talking about, so if a woman is abused, should she stay in a marriage, an abusive marriage? That's not what I'm addressing at all. I am talking about the male figure with respect to self-control, self-discipline, as far as his penis is concerned. And I'm saying that one of the ways we can cause erections to be responsible ones is by using the pen through education. The pen doesn't have a brain on its own. The pen only writes that which the mind conceives. The same thing with the penis. The penis doesn't have a brain on its own. The penis only gets erected based on the data that's entered the mind that controls the erection. And so if you lose the battle between your ears, you lose the battle between your legs for the male. Yes. When you lose the battle here, you lose the battle down there. It's as simple as that. And so this video is to help us as men, especially fathers, taking up their responsibilities once again as husbands. Let us train our young men to take after us, especially for those of us who have decided to make a difference when it comes to fatherhood and husbandry. I know the statistics is against us. I know the statistics there is nothing to write home about. We can be the seeds of reformation once again and bring a certain pride when it comes to the family unit. It's very important. Let us not lose sight of our males. And like I said, fathers train sons as mothers nurture them. The training of the mind of a son is the sole responsibility of the father, but the nurturing of the mind of the son resides in the bosom of the mother. But parenting is of both parents. I'm the Quist, your mind surgeon. Kindly subscribe to my channel, my beautiful channel, if it's been a blessing to you. Kindly subscribe to it and share with your family and friends so that I can reach a wider audience. And also like, share, and comment so that we can get interactive. I conclude by saying that let us go back where we have a society of responsible men emanating from sonship by fathers who trained us. When fathers stop training sons, chaos becomes the order of the day in society as far as morals are concerned. I charge you as a father, as a husband, if you have a son, train their mind. Train them well as their mothers are nurturing them. It's very important. Have a nice day, and I wish you all the best. I'm out.